time to show off the boat that I know so many of you have been wondering how it's been going with. It's been 4 years in the making from the time it started, and today it's time to have a proper look at the whole thing and kind of explain the thinking behind it. But I guess we can start out with this, the heart of the whole thing, and I think this maybe sets the expectations for the rest of the boat. We did not aim to build a regular boat. We built the Centermal 52R hybrid by Bernico, and we built it all the way.
Yes.
So should we go have a look?
Yes, let's go.
I can't believe it's floating here. And I can't believe I took it here and docked it myself.
Yeah, you actually did.
And Mossy was a great deckhand.
Yeah.
Jeremy was holding the kids. It feels surreal to own a boat like this, but let's come around so that I can, well, show you. Okay, so I guess the main thing is, why did I build a boat like this? I mean, I was actually at Monaco Yacht Show. I was trying all these different boats. They were all nice and all this, but at the end of the day, I went and I jumped in a Bernico rib, and you know, we were doing 60 knots, and I'm like, wait, how is this not bouncing? You know, I realized the importance of the whole design and the boat being narrow. No, but I realized the fact if you have a proper racing hull like the cigarettes or the fountains or the MTIs like Outer Limits, you are more fuel efficient when you're going medium speed. You have a higher top speed and you cut through waves in a whole different way. But I didn't quite like how narrow those boats looked. That's why we added the rib actually, because to me you're adding a bit of width without adding width in the water. So aesthetically, this here looks more like a day boat. Like we can jump on board here. And as you can see, normally a speedboat, it has 5 seats and you can go really fast and you can't do anything else without it. And we wanted to try and combine that into, well, use the performance of that type of boat, but build it in a completely different way. So that is why we have, you know, I'd have to say, a giant, you know, tanning bed here in the back. We move on to the back. We have a giant swim platform.
That's actually really big.
Like, you know, like a day boat has. I wanted everything. I didn't want to have a compromise. So, you know, day boat that does over 100 knots. We won't say the exact speed, but we're over 100 knots, but we still have a few more tests with new props. So before we say the official speed, top speed, we want to do one more record attempt. But I guess we can say this. I think we read somewhere that the fastest kind of official rib, fastest rib in the world is 101.6 knots. And we have gone faster. But we want more. So we're still tweaking and turning, and that's what Bernico's good at. They know how to make boats that go like a rocket. I mean, I drew the concept of this because I love the military boats and, you know, the space of day boats, and then we combined that on top of Bernico's P1 offshore racing hull and extended it so it's got a 3-stepped bottom. I mean, I guess you can say it's optimized for top speed for a rib. And then you're gonna see a lot of this. A lot of carbon fiber, and the forged carbon we did, like, you can do forged carbon in so many different ways, but you want to get that mix of like that marble look and like chopped carbon. And so I don't know how many, like we did the weave ourselves. And then, you know, we tested with 6, 7, 8% of black paint in the clear coat in order to make it, you know, not too contrasty. Yeah, I mean, what else? Like here, storage. Voila. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I drew this boat living in Monaco and Marbella with no kids.
Yeah.
You realize very quickly that you use boats very differently in Scandinavia. So it's cool. Like, now we're using it every day. We're learning. Obviously, you're going to find little tweaks that you want to fine tune. Overall, yeah, I mean, you saw the little intro, and we're going to, once we're done with this, we're going to jump straight back to when we took it out for the first time with Bernico.
Yeah.
A couple days ago. But here, no, first we got to finish off the proper yacht tour and like show you all the goodies.
Don't forget your key.
Key of the boat?
Yeah.
Just to think like something like this. You know, how do you have these mattresses here and you go 100 knots and not have like a slow, annoying way to connect them? Here you just go like that. And it's on, and they stay back. They stay down in full speed. So we have an Estetec deck, like a composite teak, which makes it much less sensitive. So they can use the boat and not, you know, be worried about, you know, getting stains and all this. Because when you have kids, and well, generally, it's nice not to have to work. So yeah, here we have 2 sofas. again, think about the fact that we're in a boat, basically a cigarette boat, but we wanted to fit all of this. Because in boats, all you do is lay down, at least me. Because, you know, you're on the ocean, you get tired or you want to relax. But then where do you eat? That we figured out by doing this.
I love this. It's so cool.
So then we can do that on both sides. And then in port, you know, if we take to Monaco, we can sit here and have dinner. Or if you're on the water, you can put your drinks here, someone can chill here. And I guess my whole thing was that it needs to be easy and quick to do things, otherwise you will not end up doing it.
Yeah.
So you can also make it difficult, as you see here. This whole bed or backrest is all floating, making construction and concept much more difficult. And I should also mention the fact that if it wasn't for Thibaut and the A group in Monaco that kind of helped me take my amateur drawings to production drawings, we would be nowhere near here. They've done a fantastic job. Like, Thibaut is probably the most perfectionist person I've ever met, and I'm pretty bad myself, so no, they've really, like, you know, done stuff. I've learned so much in the process, because when I started building this, I knew nothing about building boats, but then I nerded in until the end of the world. And I guess the benefit of not knowing is that you think outside the box and you do things differently. Here we have a shore shade fabric roof that comes out, because we ran the CFD, like aero simulation, and we could clearly see that the air would be kind of pushing on the roof. So if you want the roof all the way where you're sitting, that's going to be a problem to find space for the stairs as you walk back, because if the roof was here, that would be an issue. So then this can go in and out, and I think that actually, you know, it's good for sun and rain. So, you know, when you have a small boat, you really have to be creative with what you put in it. Now we're getting to the heart of the boat. Normally, when you do seats, you have one mold and you fold it over, like, you know, all the Spark or the Recaro seats and everything, you kind of have a flap going back. So they all look kind of like the standard rally seats. But then if you look at the McLaren Senna seats, they have a back part and a front part, and they're joined together. And once I had seen the Senna seats, I could not unsee them. So they were a huge inspiration for this. That Bernico, I must say, exceeded expectations by a lot. And holding this is the pillar here on the wall, with the Öhlins suspension, custom made for the boat, is sitting in here, so that when you're hitting a bump, boom!
You don't even feel it.
No, it's like, we were out doing like 90 knots outside of Sandhamn, and Moasi and we were like, wait, where's the excitement? Why aren't we scared? Like, it felt so safe, and I guess that's good. So we need bigger waves.
That's the answer for it.
And yeah, here you have the cup holders. We went so nerdy that the depth of the cup holder, the sun on the Red Bull logo, sits perfectly, the bottom of the sun sits perfectly aligned here. Now we've had the kids for a few days, so we ran out of Red Bulls, we don't have any. But yeah, as you see, like, you have the Alcantara cushions, and then kind of you see the carbon visible through here. And
so beautiful.
The only cars I have not had back pain in is kind of the LMP and the Formula cars, where you're really laying down. And we have now been out with this a whole bunch, and I have had 0 back issues. So leaning back, like, I actually saw people the first day were out, like, sleeping at 65 knots. See here, you can see, like, let me grab the heart here. So, you know, normally snap-off steering wheels are more on cars, but we figured why not have it on boats as well.
Yeah.
So here you are.
That's really...
I don't know if you've seen the Lambo boat that Conor McGregor has. The backrest in that boat is like a meter behind him. So he has to, like, sit on the front to reach the steering wheel. And anyone who's seen a car video of mine knows the importance, I think, it is to have the wheel at the correct position, not too far out. But yeah, this is where you drive. Unless you're really going flat out crazy maniac style. Then we have a second steering wheel.
It goes here. That
goes here. They're programming that, so that's gonna come. But in offshore racing, you have one person steering, and then you have a throttle mat. So then, you know, or if you have a friend, you're driving and a friend wants to try, you don't have to get out, and you can do a safer switch. But then, yeah, if you're really, well, if you're that good, that is. But it's built, I mean, this technically is more or less a, you know, offshore racing boat, but with all the amenities. Yeah, I mean, this is a good example. Like this plate here could be flat. That would be cheaper, quicker, easier, but sort of how the, and you see here, like the shape of this is really, our goal was to try and build a, you know, a boat that had the sort of finish level of, you know, a Koenigsegg or a Pagani, or obviously it's much bigger, but we tried to get as close as we possibly could, and I don't think we're that far away. When you start this thing up, now actually the place Moasi and them are staying at, they had a baby here who's sleeping right there, so we're not going to start her up now, but I can show you what you're supposed to do. So first thing is like main power. So it kind of really is like starting a fighter jet. It's like this whole procedure, this, check this. While this is starting up, we have the Raymarine screens here kind of sitting, you know, it was a big balance. How big of a screen do you want versus how much visibility do you want to keep or lose? So I think the size actually worked quite well. Yeah. Inside here in the steering wheel, you have a phone so that we can run the Mercury app and get all the engine info here so that I can have navigation or whatever else you want in the front. Because the steering wheel is not cool unless it has a display. Displays are really hard to get in there, but now we solved it with the phone because that actually works really well. And then for the screen on the other side, you see on the panel there, so the co-pilot, being you, Moasi, can then control the screens from the remote there. Okay. So that means you can sit down instead of like sitting like this. No, but that way you can kind of sit like this and you know, do it, which I think is really super important. Yeah, so like first you do main, and then you do start. That's the sound of like thunder is now ready to be released. Yeah, so then when it stops beeping, you know thunder is ready. Everything you have on the wheel you also have here. Since we're not going to wake up the baby here, you're going to hear and see the boat. You have start buttons here. And then what else do we have? We have trimming the boat, trim it up, and then trim it down. So you don't have one on each side. In a boat, you have the wheels not in the same place the whole time. So then here you have the throttle. Here you have the gear shifters, front, back. So here you have the trim planes. And this is the trimming for the engine. And this is the Jolly Drive kind of indicating trimming there. And then what else? There's a bunch of lights, like all this stuff. I almost forgot one of the key aspects of this boat. Because of how extreme the engines are on the back, with 1,550 horsepower per engine, they're going to be serviced quite often. And a lot of the times when you're boating, you're just going slow and there's no reason to fire them up. So that's why I pretty early on said, well, let's make a hybrid. You know, we put some batteries in, we combine the two. Like, how hard can that be? To my knowledge, no one's done that on a speedboat, so we couldn't really look at someone else how they did it. But now we basically have about 250 kilos of batteries in the back, which gets us roughly 2 hours in a 7, 8, 9 knots, depending on, we haven't fine-tuned the propellers yet, but most of the speed limits here are 8. So, you know, if you can go through all the speed limit places running electric, or, you know, if you have a baby sleeping over there and you want to take your monster rocket out without, you know, getting too unpopular around. So the way it works basically is they have two separate systems. So it's essentially like two torpedoes on the aft, which then when you hit the gas with the other engines, you know, that lifts the boat. So then those torpedoes come out of the water. Wow. So what I can do, like most boats, you know, they have the little joystick remote control. So from this, I can do everything. I can start the boat up here. So here, bow thruster. Here we have electric engines, like thrust, and if I push this continues. So basically we can untie and I can stand the back here with the wheel. That's so cool. Which I think is really cool. And here you have the on-off on electric steering. Here you have the power of the electric, and then you have the 1550 mode. But yeah, so basically the way the 1550 works is, so underneath here, we're going to show you in a sec, we have dual 1350, 1550. So we have a fuel tank in the front where we can put high octane fuel, and then we can activate the 1550 mode, or we can run it on regular fuel and do 1350. But from my experience so far, I'm not sure if 1550 is needed. I hope this shows the amount of kind of time, effort, and passion that went into this.
Because you designed the whole steering by yourself.
I've never been a boat owner before. I have never built a boat, but I have, you know, done a lot of car stuff, and I love to think and analyze. So maybe potentially I brought some untraditional ideas because of my lack of knowledge. Mm-hmm. I'm going to turn that off now because that thing is telling me that the start engines are activated. While we're up here, I guess we can look at the roof. The lower chunk, we can call it, You have your radar. The top chunk, you have the FLIR camera, which is like a gyro-stabilized infrared night vision. So on both screens inside, we can drive it full night with that camera. All in was the concept. Spare no expense and make it the best possible thing we can do. So I mean, we try to just make the most extreme thing we could. And then in here, we have a very spacious bed.
It's mega spacious.
No, but the way most speedboats work is that you have, you know, a very big cabin like this, but they aren't that useful. So that's why I wanted to move the front windscreen further forward so you had more usability of the boat in the back. You can sleep if you want to. Wait, we should look here. Num, we call this.
Yeah, this is like
Full
perfection.
carbon sink. And up here we have our coffee machine.
Of course, that's needed.
Yeah, I mean we have a lot of things that we need to stack up on, like plates and all that, but we've just been so excited driving. And then if you are going too fast and you feel like you need to use the restroom, you do this and this, and that's your bathroom. And you see lid, light gray, ring, middle gray, bottom black. I apologize, it's not carbon. We're working on it. No, but again, like here you can see the structural carbon, whereas the forged is more aesthetical, whereas this is from the molding. But my whole thing was that if it's not easy, you'll never use. And then here with the bed, you see these little rings here. You have wireless charging from your phone here. And clearly, you know, this is a good family boat, so it's important to have life vest for the kids.
Yeah.
Like Leia actually fell asleep on the boat last
She
time.
loved it. Like.
Yeah, and Leon loved it as soon as we said, but we can go buy ice cream with it. Yes, boat. I mean, what else? We have a bunch of storage over here. One of the things that was a challenge is that, you know, it's really nice to be able to walk around the outside of kind of the cabin and the center console, but that also means you limit the space. So it's like a balance between the two. And I thought that making a bigger cabin, like making it feel bigger inside, I thought that was better. Because then if you jump on the side here, so instead of going around the outside, you're like, okay, what do you do? Because you have to tie up the boat in the front. So then, are you ready?
Yeah.
So then if you're really in a hurry, you just go like this. And you're ready. That took a lot of like, you know, should we have a ladder or, you know, what way do we do it? And up here we have a regular traditional anchor that you throw in. A lot of like discussions on what solution should we pick, because you want to keep the complexity down for both weight, and the more things you have that are moving parts, the more things that can break. But it actually works really well to jump up and down going this way. And I think the compromise of having a bigger boat inside and having to do this, I'm super happy that we went that way. And you see that the bowsprit, it's actually inspired by sailboats because I thought it looked super cool. And I like ribs, but I don't like the front of ribs. So I wanted to add this because I really thought that it changed the appearance of the boat. Because most people don't realize it's a rib until, you know, they actually start really looking. And that was kind of my goal. And then we can show also here that I love like all the military boats or, you know, work boats that have the overhang here in the front. But going 100 knots, I knew that was going to be a problem. So then we're like, well, let's cut a hole here. So here is your air channels through, so that you can have this look without, you know, having the roof fly off when you run really fast. I haven't actually been up on the roof yet. Every single thing on this boat is carbon fiber, except for this. This is not carbon, but...
And here I think it's a better demonstration how spacious actually the back is.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a good fun-sized day boat, but you're doing 100 knots. So Conor McGregor, that's cute, you're doing 48. Okay. So if you want to go fast, just hit me up and we can go for a spin. No, actually, I'm a huge fan, so.
Yeah. He's just an island, it's not far away.
Yeah. You're invited.
You're invited.
No, but I think it's cool. I'm very rarely proud and happy with things I do, but here I feel like, yeah, I mean, together with Bernico, David, who's helped me, Thibaut, and the A group. I mean, everyone involved, I really think we created something that at least I'm super proud of, because I think we took the performance and really used it in a different way. But I wouldn't say downside, but the way we chose to set up it was with jolly drive. So it's basically two giant axles going out the rear, but they sit so close to each other that turning this boat, it turns like an aircraft carrier, meaning it is probably the worst learning how to drive a boat, or the best, I guess, because it's really difficult, but it's not forgiving. But it's gone surprisingly well, because I have to get really good at the strategic aspect really quick. So basically, when you dock this boat, you leave the wheel completely in neutral, and you have to dock the boat only by using the engine. Like, you have zero use of turning the wheel. Well, you'll see in the video, but even Richard, it's like, oh my god, this is difficult.
Yeah.
But it's just different once you learn it. Am I missing anything? I'm sure I'm missing something. We have to have a look in the engine. I'm sure that there's quite a few boat people who think looking in the engine bay is, you know, one of the things you do on a yacht tour. Especially if you have 3,100 horsepower. You'll see in a second, but they fire up badly. I mean, I think they've come such a long way from racing engines 10 years ago. Like these, you push a button once, boom, and it fires up and then just runs like a standard boat. And then if you look in there, you see the quick gyro. And I'm sure you have seen the gyro videos on Instagram where people are rocking a boat and they're swinging like this. You turn on the gyro, boom, there's no rocking.
Wow.
So that's also, you know, maybe not the most common thing to have on a boat this fast, but I said, otherwise Yanni would kill me. So very important. And then you see you have some of the batteries for the hybrid drive you have on the right side of the engine, and then you have the majority on the left side in front of the engine. So kind of spread up to divide the weight. Anything else?
Yeah, I know what you forgot. We have also 2 fridges actually at the dinner area.
Okay, that's actually important. So, you know, if you're sitting here, you're having your evening dinner or drink, or you know, whatever, it's very annoying when you have to walk far to get a new drink. But that's why we did this.
This is so cool.
Another fridge on the other side, and then storage. So, I hope that we managed to get everything through, and that, yeah, you can see the level of passion that went into this. For once, I look at it and I'm like, not like, should have changed that, which is, you know, that's my personality. I just never ever get satisfied, but here I actually am. But I guess all great things take time. And it took 4 years, but now looking back, it was worth every month it took. I guess that's it for the tour. I wanted to do a proper tour, because if you build something for 4 years, you know, it's nice to show the level of, well, all the things that went into it. And I'm just realizing, I forgot one thing. See the shape here?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a carbon boat hook, but it didn't make it on time. So we have a shape in here that's supposed to sit. So you go click, click. But I'd say that we jump back to a couple days ago when Nico and Booby took us out and showed us how to drive a boat and showed us what this boat was all about. So you get to, see how this thing handles. And I mean, I guess the only other thing we could say that, I mean, it is a center mile boat. And on Monday, the 20th, we have the drop of the new summer collection. The boat will not be on there for sale, but you can go check out all the new stuff that, well, you hopefully with this you realize the passion we have to develop things that we are proud of. You're gonna see that we're gonna do a second video that whole day where you get it from start to finish. And this is more of a boat or speed yacht tour.
But tomorrow they can turn in and see actually the real experience.
Tomorrow, really?
Yes.
That's how once he does it. So hope you guys like it and enjoyed this video, and that you're gonna enjoy the rest of this video, and then we'll end it a couple days ago. High five, boat. So let's go racing. One more thing I forgot. Obviously this boat has a full-on, you know, what is it, 12 or 14 speaker system, but as you've seen, you haven't seen any. No. So they're all like, if you look underneath here, they're all hidden, which I think is important, because in most speedboats it's like you have this, like, in my opinion, not so epic looking like grill on all of them. So I like it more hidden. Yeah. Okay, but now, okay, no more remember new things. So let's do it. That is so, sorry for swearing, f***ing cool. Guys, you're welcome. Alright, I say we put the life vest on.